Hey y'all, Brent from Additive America, and I can't wait to share this with you about 3D printing for the orthotic and prosthetic field, but specifically on orthoses themselves. We're going to cover a lot of things, but it's really, I hope, an inspiration to you to actually start your journey into the digital space. And so without further ado, let's hop in. This is one of my favorite slides, and what we're going to do is say, hey, specifically for orthotic devices, when does it make sense to print them? And I love this slide because everybody is in line to buy a 3D printer, but nobody is spending the time to design for additive manufacturing. The reality is a 3D printer will print exactly what you tell it to. So let's take the time to figure out what to tell the printer to print. So there's a couple of things that make sense when you're talking about the orthotic field in general. Is let's print things that actually we can make a little bit of money on, that we would otherwise not make money on, or let's print things that bring the time frame down, that are super intensive when you're talking about traditional fabrication. So on the left here, you see a PDE style strut from FabTech, super labor intensive, and the spread of what you get paid versus what you pay for the device ends up being very small. There's not a lot of money built in as far as profit-wise into this if you traditionally fabricate especially without 99 codes. And then on the right side here, we have a KAFO, pediatric KAFO. You notice that there's no metal other than the skateboard bearings that go in here for the joints. It makes for a super lightweight KAFO, and with that, you driving down material costs, driving down the time to delivery. It's just a great combination, and super lightweight, compliance is up, and all that. People always say, Brent, where do I start? And I want to just say, I'll move out of the way there, digitize everything. Just like the cast is the foundation of everything that you do, digitize your cast, whether it be the outside, you split it and you scan both sides, put it together, or even scanning your modified, rectified mold. Start digitizing. But I know once you start digitizing, you're going to want to do some more things. And that is where things get a little bit interesting. People say, well, Brent, when I'm digitizing, what should I be using? And man, there are so many different options for scanners. But one of my favorite scanners is the one that is probably the least expensive, actually, and that is the structure sensor. Now, the structure sensor is great. It attaches to an iPad. Everybody's probably seen it, so we're not going to spend a lot of time on that, other than the fact that I love to do stuff in the developing world. And pretty much every single device that's scanning on the market requires some sort of connection to the cloud. And when I'm doing my stuff in the developing world, specifically the jungle of Guatemala, I cannot be guaranteed access to the internet when I'm there. So a lot of times it will look like this: unable to connect to the internet. What am I going to do? And I know you've probably been there as well, where if you've been in the depths of a hospital and you may not have access to Wi-Fi, how are you going to scan and make sure that you've got that file? And that's why Digiscan 3D was created. Digiscan 3D is an app in the App Store that was scratch built, specifically made for the structure sensor. And it is different as far as the quality scans, and we're going to show you that in the next slide here. On the left side, the scan quality is so important. So you can see on this left side, this is with Digiscan 3D. You have only 2 self-intersections, 16 highly creased edges, and 4 spikes. And then on the right side is the free application. And I mean, it looks like it's got marks all over it. And it's got 559 self-intersections, 267 highly creased edges, 267 spikes, and 6 small holes. And it's the exact same model. It's incredible. your tools matter. And I know that doesn't always tell the whole story. So let's say, how accurate is the structure sensor? And just remember, the structure sensor, like anything else, is a tool to learn how to use. So on the left side here, we've got 375 millimeters. On the right side, 375.36 millimeters. In the orthotic prosthetic realm, we're in the ballpark. We're good to go. Testing is also important. That is one of the things that I find very interesting in the prosthetic and orthotic field is, hey, Brent, what kind of testing are you doing? And we love testing. In fact, so much so that we pay somebody that is an outside source, not attached to an educational institution, to give us bad news or news that our stuff is being destroyed. But what we found is, and especially in the prosthetic realm, we're getting very, very good results. In fact, good results to the point where we're breaking feet, breaking tube clamps, breaking pyramids, breaking the actual pylons themselves. It's incredible. The stuff is strong. And we're now trying to figure out, okay, if it's that strong, especially in the prosthetic realm, what kind of things are we looking like in the orthotic realm? And my suggestion to you really is FDM, other than for foot orthoses, probably not the right technology for definitive orthotic devices, but Multijet fusion is, and you'll see a video at the very end of this presentation regarding a Multijet fusion style AFO. The other thing to remember with the orthotic devices, it's not always about creating an orthosis. Sometimes it's making somebody's life better. So this is Christopher. He didn't have a cup holder that was deep enough to hold his cup. And so we just took some dimensions and we made him one. And now this cup holder has been all over the world. And you know what? I make his AFOs as well. And you know what else? When they go and they talk to other families and people say, hey, where did you get that cup holder? They tell other people about our company. So sometimes it is the value add that really adds a lot to the orthotic and prosthetic facility in general. So that's Christopher. And then I want to just share this last video. This is a perfect example of traditional fabrication versus multi-jet fusion. This is Penny. She is a podorthist that used to work with us. And this was her brace. On the left side was a traditional fabrication style, and on the right side was a multi-jet fusion style. And she said, Brent, I want a brace, but I don't want to wear shoes. I don't want to wear socks. I'm going to wear sandals. Just deal with it. And boy, that just sounds like a nightmare of a patient. And I said, you know what? Let's try it. Oh, and she said she wanted it 3D printed. And so we 3D printed the device, and here she is giving some feedback.
Well, Penny, you've had this on for a few minutes here. What do you think of this AFO?
I love it. It's phenomenal. I feel like I have no weight on me at all. It's just giving me lots of feedback every time I step. I feel like I have support, even in my leg and my knee. I'm not hyperextended. It's phenomenal.
Cool.
So just a really neat video on a Penny. And one of the coolest things that I got back from her was she was with her daughter and they were raking some leaves. And she said, it was 4 o'clock in the afternoon and I didn't even realize I had been raking all day. Penny has MS. And she said, I would not have been able to do that with my other brace. And so, yes, it's a little bit different solution. It's a solution that I wouldn't have chosen. You know, when you get the idea of no shoes, no socks, and a short brace, what are you going to do about that? But we got a little bit creative, and you can see how the device performed. So Thank you so much for your attention. I hope you enjoy all the other presentations. If you want to catch up with me, you can catch me at lifeenabled.org, which is my nonprofit organization, or you can catch me on LinkedIn as well. Look for me, Brent, Wright. That is the best way to get up with me. Thanks so much. I look forward to connecting with you on LinkedIn, and I hope to see you posting some things about what you may create in the orthotic realm. Thanks.